Justin Baldoni is following through on his promise to expose everything. They're still working on launching a website where we can all view the entirety of their correspondences, emails, text messages, WhatsApp, voicemails, behind-the-scenes footage of It Ends With Us. That hasn't been launched yet, but Justin Baldoni just released a 6-minute clip of a 2 a.m. voicemail he sent to Blake Lively, groveling for her approval. Actually, for context, this is the message that Blake Lively sent to Justin Baldoni before he asked for her forgiveness. This is the infamous Game of Thrones message. No. If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. 37-year-old woman, by the way, who's speaking like this, like a 13-year-old girl. She is referring to her husband, Ryan Reynolds, and her friend, Taylor Swift, in that message to strike fear in Justin Baldoni's heart. We have a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. I have finally decided that I should call you folks the connoisseurs of cringe. I proudly wear that label. That's exactly what I am. So, in response to Blake Lively's fear-mongering message about her dragons, Justin Baldoni, being the placating simp he is, sent her back this voice memo, just groveling, just profusely apologizing for offending her. The reason why she was offended by Justin Baldoni is Blake Lively had this perception that she was being pigeonholed as just an actress in this movie. She believed she was entitled to more creative control and that Justin Baldoni was depriving her of that. So here was his response to those claims.
So as to not slander a man who's worked as hard as he has to have the voice that he does. This is at 2x speed because the video is 6 minutes long.
Yeah, we're going at 35 seconds in and we're playing it on 2x speed because he's doing this very slow, raspy, whispering voice that a lot of people find flirty. Okay. We'll get to those.
Here we go.
Takes.
Start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank. And I'm really sorry. I for sure fell short. And you worked really hard on that. And the way you framed it and how that made you feel, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability. And I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel.
I'm actually getting secondhand fear that I'm going to get like a voice app message. I don't know how you feel about that, but when people send me voice texts, I almost throw my phone across the room.
No, there are only two types of people: voice memo people and the people who hate voice memos.
I am not a voice memo
And Justin Baldoni is a voice memo guy.
I actually physically, I get
He's
repulsed.
one of those guys.
It's just me.
Yeah.
All right.
And share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off probably, but I will always apologize and find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend. And I
mean, it's not even an apology. He's like, oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. Like, it's an apology, but he's also, you know.
Well, you haven't even heard the entirety of it yet.
And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that you're the greatest people on the planet.
Dragons, yes.
The three of you guys together is unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just want you to know that I didn't need that because it's really good and it's going to make the movie sing like you said. And I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. You know, I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are talking like this, me and my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face. And I feel like that's where I excel. And definitely falling short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening. And all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together. And I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there. Has been there from the start, so I was so damn excited when we did this film. I felt it in the room.
If I were him,
yeah,
I'd be worried about like the voicemail running out.
What do you mean?
Like where it's like it stops because it's reached its maximum length and then it just sends it.
Oh no, it's not a
I think it does come
voicemail.
from
It's a
the
message.
both of us being so fucking hardworking and having a vision and not settling. And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that deal. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just me off those heads that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be. Hopefully, it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me. I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. And that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. I just haven't had a chance to send it to you, but there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And I hope after this experience there will be a new. I hope it'll be healing in some way. That's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special. And it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
Okay.
Yeah.
What it is it's it's a very passive person acquiescing to a passive aggressive person.
Yeah.
Which might actually be the 9th or 10th circle of hell.
He's a people pleaser. That's what Justin Baldoni is. He is a people pleaser.
Yeah.
And you know what? He was scared because there was, in fact, an imbalanced power dynamic between him and Blake Lively. Although technically she is an employee, he's the director, he's also producing. It's not the same thing as an employee and a boss. She has more power than him by far in the industry because of her own fame and wealth, but also, of course, because of her husband's fame and wealth. And she very explicitly threatened Justin Baldoni with that power. Yeah. And he responded by placating her. He really tried to win her favor back. He tried everything, pathetically. And maybe you could say he shouldn't have handled it that way.
I mean, I don't know how else he can. Like,
what can you do,
every
though?
other, first of all, any other avenue would have been against his personality type, and he wouldn't have been able to do that anyways. I get that. He went with the only method he knew.
Shockingly, this is what proves to me.
I bet you this upset her even more because she probably saw it as weakness.
It's the whole like kill them with kindness thing, but also you're right. She sees it as weakness, and like that's what she would detest even more as someone who can't like stand up to her. So, but you know, this is what proves to me that Justin Baldoni is a true believer male feminist. He really means it. Like, he was apologizing to her on behalf of all the men that have ever mistreated her.
It's also interesting.
He's
because...
like, I'm so sorry on behalf of all the male directors and producers who have ever been mean to you.
Well, technically, you should be sorry on behalf of all the men who aren't those directors.
I just can't believe that you get treated like this as a woman in Hollywood. And she decided to take that and use it against him and incinerate his career anyway.
What's funny is he's actually, at least from everything that I've seen in his personality type, he's kind of antithetical to the way directors are supposed to work, which is very regimented. It's their way or the highway. It's their job to bring the pages on screen to life. It is not a job for the meek. It is not a job for somebody like you can hear a lot about collaborative directors, and that is a thing, but directors in general at the level of a big budget Hollywood film aren't want to be walked out on, right? They want to be able to make the movie that they're making. And a lot of times that doesn't mean making friends. That means making sure these are the words on the page. Say the words on the page. Here's what you're supposed to be thinking and feeling. Emote. Do it now. We've got a budget. We've got time constraints.
Yeah.
We're over. We're an hour over. We're going into territory where we're going to have to pay people extra. Get this done.
And you know what? given the fact that Justin Baldoni purchased the film rights from Colleen Hoover, not Blake Lively, Colleen Hoover should not have gotten on the Me Too bandwagon like that. She, right? Like, Blake Lively did not own this. This was not her project, and she was acting like it was.
I would assume by taking a side so early on that she was taking the side of somebody that she felt was going to be more beneficial to her down the line in Hollywood when it comes to getting her work adapted.
Yeah, maybe. Some people perceived this voice note, though, as flirtatious on Justin Baldoni's
Well, I suppose
part.
if you listen to it at 1x speed.
Yeah, he's speaking very slowly and sensually. This tweet says, "To be fair, if Justin Baldoni left me a 2 a.m. voicemail with that voice, my man wouldn't be thrilled either. This just shows he was trying to make it work and walking on eggshells. He was doomed no matter what."
That's what it felt like to me.
So Ryan Reynolds must have heard that voice memo and thought, oh, yeah, he's trying to steal my girl. I mean, I have to just burn his career to the ground.
Yeah.
And there was another comment that people took particular notice of in that voice memo where Justin Baldoni says, "I get to work with Blake Lively. I want her. I want all of her." He says that
he's just an artist who talks that way.
Yes.
He said, "Give my love to your husband." I'm guessing he doesn't actually mean that.
Yes. The context that Colonel Kurtz gave in a post on X says Baldoni is responding in his voice memo to Blake Lively's complaint that he doesn't listen to her ideas enough or give her enough creative control outside of her limited role as an actress. He's addressing that and saying, "I want you involved on all levels, not trying to minimize you." Baldoni sounds smooth and seductive, but I think he actually relates to everyone this way. He's an intense, emotional guy, and he talks about his wife and Ryan a lot in the voice memo too. So again, it doesn't matter if he isn't to everyone's liking. Did he deserve to be destroyed by Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds? I don't think so. No.
What's weird is okay, so this is interesting. So the industry that they work in is unbelievably cutthroat, right? It's unbelievably cutthroat. The likes of Ryan Reynolds, to get to the level that they are in Hollywood, just like anybody who becomes a billionaire, anybody who succeeds in business, they may be liked by the general public, but very likely there are, if not skeletons, there are angry people along the way because they had to succeed where other people may have failed. Now, for somebody like Justin Baldoni, we always make the joke that being a male feminist is it's a way to protect your image when there's actually a much darker notion underneath, that there's a darker core to that person, be it as a predator or something like that. We're not saying him. We're saying that is oftentimes the average male feminist ends up being not such a great guy. Here's the thing. Those not such a great guys use that veneer as a way to look good to the public while succeeding in a cutthroat industry like Hollywood. He seems to actually be the real male feminist who isn't super cutthroat, which means in a lot of ways he's made it a lot farther than most people who might just not be cut out for that business.
Yes.
I would never be able to make it in that industry. And there's no shame in not being able to be in an industry full of duplicitous douches who run over one another for success. I understand everybody has to get theirs, but there's a difference between choosing to be an actor and getting in on the ground floor of production and making your own films and making your own TV shows. He was already successful. Like I said, he did 5 years of Jane the Virgin. I know that because Olivia made me watch all 5 seasons. He's not a bad actor. Granted, his character is pretty much exactly, maybe he is a bad actor because his character is pretty much exactly like he is in real life.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's not cut out for the cutthroat the way that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were. Most likely they saw any sort of earnest emotion and just saw weakness.
They seized on it. Yeah. And in an industry like Hollywood, but also in most facets of life, the nice guys do finish last.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.